Good evening and happy holidays, everyone. Thanks for watching the first ever Off the Record with Leah. I do want to start this video off by apologizing ahead of time for any hiccups that are likely to occur along the way, including but not limited to the fact that the horrific lighting currently has me looking like a cast member from The Walking Dead. The reason for that is when I first initially decided to launch this channel, chosen a launch date for around the first week of February. As such, my office is still in the process of being decorated and the lighting perfected, etc. However, in one of the cases I'm hoping to follow and discuss with you all, some developments have occurred in the last week that has resulted in a hearing being scheduled for January 2nd. As such, the February date got moved back, but more about that later. First, I want to tell you a little about myself, why I decided to start this channel, and what I hope to do moving forward. First, I have been a paralegal working primarily in family law for the last 23 years here in Las Vegas. Often in family law cases, they cross over into the other areas, including the civil, criminal, juvenile, and guardianship courts. What that means is I am expected to know the procedures for each one. I'm also expected to often know as much, if not more, than the attorneys. What this really means is I by no means know more than the attorneys I work for, nor do I have all the answers. What it means is I just know where to find the answers to those questions. It is a job that I find greatly rewarding and fulfilling. However, it can be extremely stressful. So, after a long day at work, much to my husband's annoyance, I come home, pour a nice glass of wine, and sit down to watch the cases we all follow here, as well as the analysts and commentators on YouTube. I readily admit to being a law nerd, if I can pronounce it, and I do need to give a huge shout out and thank you to Emily D. Baker for coining the term that we all wear as badges of honors. Also, I follow many of the other analysts and commentators here, and please know I am in by no means comparing myself to any of them. They set a bar very, very high. It is just my sincere hope that they do not mind a paralegal jumping into the fray. Excuse me, I also have to check my notes because oftentimes my brain works ahead of my mouth. Okay. Living in Las Vegas and working in the legal field means I often have a front row seat to the fascinating and interesting cases that make up our court dockets, and those I'm looking forward to sharing with you. As the channel grows, obviously, we'll probably move on to some cases outside of Nevada. The reason we're starting here is I have access to the courts, the pleadings, and whatnot to discuss. Also, some of the interesting cases here in Nevada are not being covered anywhere else that I'm aware of. If there is a case that you want covered outside of Nevada or Las Vegas, please let me know. I am all in for digging in and seeing what's there. Also, I have to say, as a paralegal, we work with attorneys every day. Therefore, we run on sarcasm and caffeine. We have to. We also drink wine at night. That doesn't mean we're all raging alcoholics. It just means we work with attorneys all day, every day. One of my hopes for the channel moving forward is I'm going to be attaching a blog shortly to the channel that will provide some details, timelines, and backgrounds to the cases we follow, including the crimes or issues that resulted in the case. I'll also keep it updated with important dates and whatnot coming in each of our cases. It's also my intention to provide the background videos for each of those for those who don't enjoy reading the blogs. Another reason for starting this particular channel is as a paralegal, I oftentimes can offer a different perspective than the lawyers here. That again doesn't mean I know more than them. It's just a different perspective because we work more behind the scenes, closer with the court staff. We know the processes that are often streamlined in the world of the paralegal, where the attorneys sometimes like take the longer path within the court system to get where they need to be. Doesn't mean they're wrong. It just means we do the filing. We know what needs to go where, and we've kind of streamlined it. Also, it's important that we know our court staff because if you want anything done within the court system, you better be on good terms with the court staff. So, lots of interesting cases I want to cover with you. But the first one we're going to dive into is going to be the state of Nevada versus Dwayne Davis, aka Keefe D. Davis has been charged in the 1996 murder of hip hop legend Tupac Shakur. This is the reason for the early launch date. Davis's public defender on December 14th filed a motion asking that Davis be released from custody on his own recognizance. And no, I can't pronounce that word, so it will be OR for the rest of this video and probably the ones to follow. Or in the alternative, that bail be set at no more than $100,000. Defense attorneys filing motions for bail for their clients is pretty much the norm. It's not out of the ordinary. What I found interesting and, dare I say, entertaining about this particular motion is the facts set forth in that they believe warrants Davis's request to be OR'd being granted. One of those is over since the 1996 murder, Davis has made very, very many statements, including admissions in his 2019 memoir, stating that he was in the vehicle when Tupac was shot with the shooter, that he was the one that procured the gun, and several other incriminating statements. He had made a deal in LA with the LA investigators that he would tell them what he knew in regards to the Tupac murder in exchange for immunity. What he thought that meant, in my opinion, is that also made him immune to the case. He had immunity in the case here in Las Vegas. That, however, is not the case. So tomorrow we'll be going through his motion. Once the state files a response, we'll go through that as well. I have filed the proper media request with the court, hoping to gain access to their pool feed. If not, or even if I do, I may attend the hearing in person so I can give you my thoughts and opinions on that. I just have to figure out how we will do the live stream of the hearing and watch that together while I am also in the courtroom, because live streaming from the courtrooms is prohibited. It's just not allowed. So once those plans are more ironed out, I will let you know what path we're going to travel. Another case we're going to follow here is the state of Nevada versus Travis Doss. I will give you a trigger warning. This case does involve horrific child abuse, including children in cages. The sad part of this is the Doss has admitted to causing some of the injuries to the children, but then had the audacity to ask the court to allow him contact with those children. It is my sincere hope that, like his wife, he will take a plea agreement so that those children do not have to testify against him in court. There's another case here in Nevada where an elected official is accused of murdering a reporter who reported negatively on him in the press. One of the twists in this case is the the employer of the murdered reporter has filed a case in our Supreme Court here in Nevada against the police department regarding the electronics and phone that the police seized that belonged to the reporter after his murder. The questions in that give rise to that case are extremely interested. It's basically the First Amendment rights of the press and their right to protect their confidential informants versus the need for law enforcement to protect society from dangerous criminals. So to me, it's very, very interesting. When we dive into that, you'll have to let me know if I'm just that nerdy and or whether it's something you find interesting and well as well. One of the cases outside of Nevada I'm keeping an eye on because waiting on an appeal decision on it to find out if it's going forward is a case out of Texas surrounding the Love is Blind reality TV show. Some of the information in the initial complaint against the Love is Blind creators and producers does include some sexual assault and other issues. I found this case interesting. One, I'm a reality TV fan, and Love is Blind is one of my favorites. Two is over the years, I've seen the reports from some of the contestants and the issues they say surrounding them participating on the show. Once I know what's happening in that case, I can give you some more information. But again, first, we're going to cover the Keefe D. Tupac murder case. So join me tomorrow when we go off the record to go through Keefe D's motion. And maybe by then we'll have a response from the state to cover as well. So again, thank you for watching this particular video, and I look forward to seeing you when we go off the record.